Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at Duke's Rib House and Grill, 1910 Cochran Road. Everybody that came here must have found it because that's why you're here. So we appreciate that. This will be our official last show. We've done this at a few other places. We had a streak of 85 shows at Sip Sports Bar. They're out of business. My friend sold the place. It's now a Mai Tai place, and I heard the food's great. But there's no big screen TVs and memorabilia around like this place. So I appreciate everybody coming out. Thanks to Aaron Ward doing our camera work. Smoking Jim Frazier's my co-host. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Now we always have some new people that come to our show either as guests or fans or friends of Bonnie. So they can watch us on Verizon 32 everywhere in the Pittsburgh area and outside of it, as far as Nemacolin, all the way up to Cranberry Wexford. We always start our show out with something called What's on Your Mind, and we also have the sponsor here from Skeet's Service Station. Skeet's Lewandowski's here in the house. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
please don't break it.
You got to see Levine. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Please take care of your bartenders and waitresses. And if you haven't done so already, do yourself a favor, grab a menu, because 2 weeks ago I had the best ribs I ever had in my life. Big hand for award-winning author of the Slick Move Guide book. Jody Velasquez is in the house.
That is a Pittsburgh Sportsline first. He got it all in. You've been practicing, my friend.
I'm trying.
And she is a great award-winning author who got second place last year.
Great legs. Big hand for international master photographer Bill Boyce and his beautiful models in the house. The Pittsburgh Steelers offensive tackle, Mike Adams, is as soft as a Dairy Queen ice cream cone. Pittsburgh Steelers need a grizzly bear, and he's a gummy bear. Mike Adams would rather smoke a blunt than lift weights. He's already failed 2 NFL drug tests. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to cut Mike Adams and promote 6'9", 330-pound war hero, Villanueva. That's it. Villanueva has been a Pittsburgh Steelers most dominant player throughout preseason. Listen, thank you, Al Levine.
Write that name down.
I will write that name down. Hey, listen, you win games with players in the trenches, not players who want to smoke weed. Listen, Villanueva is a war hero. That way, he doesn't know the word defeat or retreat. Listen, if the Pittsburgh Steelers get more players like Villanueva, they can win another Super Bowl. In the words of Sammy Vasquez, who can? The Mexican Americans.
Smoking Jim, I don't know how you did it again. You got the best volume in the place. Max and Irma is just calling me on my smartphone. I don't know why. They're right behind us. Next time, that's why I gave you that pen. Write that name down phonetically. You know, you learned that. Well, there's no way I can go right after you, so that's why I try to add a little comic relief here, just to break this up. Because my psychiatrist friends and psychologists in Pittsburgh are out of business temporarily for a day because we had a miracle here. The Steelers look like they don't have a defense. I mean, they have a couple nice guys, but who are they going to stop when it's the real season and everybody's playing that's, you know, NFL stars? But they won the game. And we all know in Pittsburgh, anybody that's been here for, I'm going to say a week, because some people won't notice it because you got to play a game. When the Steelers win one game, they're going to the Super Bowl. Like my man said, he's an NFL scout. He bought into that. He didn't say when, because you have to listen, but I did. Now, the other thing, which is great, is I've been a Pirate fan my whole life, and you're finding out more about Pirates, but they're in a pennant race. And this is an exciting time to watch the Pirates. Sometimes at the beginning of the game, you walk away because you said, hey, I'm watching the game. It's the first inning. There's 2 outs. You didn't even see McCutchen bat up. And you said because his hair is cut, he's not going to do anything. He's one of the hottest hitters in the league. How does this even happen? Now, I appreciate and respect what you do because you're like my Ed McMahon, and you always tell me I'm Johnny Carson, so I'm trying not to make fun of you, but we do have to have some facts instead of just opinions. And I keep educating because we have a lot of young people that watch it, and this is a family show, as everybody knows. And you're a known gambler, so I have to tell them about that. So we got to clarify some of these things. So I'll just put one thing out. On the Steelers, you taught me last couple years as they're rebuilding. Now, this is like a swear word in Steeler Nation. I bleed black and gold. They've been rebuilding for 4 years. The schedule's tough, and I realize the schedule was based on last year's teams. And guess what? There's free agency. Not all the players are there, but nobody talks about that either. I feel like the Lone Ranger when I'm talking next to the scout that none of this stuff comes out. So there's a lot of reasons behind this. And they won. There were no pills given out today because they needed happy pills. I saw so many happy people today just being out and about. So go Steelers, go Pirates, and enjoy the rest of the show. Now, I want to get a little background for people because people that know you, they understand that and saw when you were a Pirate, and I did too. I haven't had one of your cards, you know, and I don't have it right now because I got rid of a lot of them when the price went down. I just said, here, enjoy it, other kids and things. So, now, tell us where you grew up and how long you've been playing baseball.
Well, I'm a Pennsylvania native. I grew up down around Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Went to a little town called Mount Holly Springs, and you know, just like so many young people. I mean, today they have t-ball, they have coaches pitch. We didn't have that back then. I started at 7 years old. You know, nowadays they start at 4 or 5 years old, but you know, grew up just loving the game of baseball, playing it, and also played well at basketball. I actually had more.
I was going to ask you, with your height,
yeah,
I'm sure in a small town, you were pretty good at basketball.
Well, we actually, I mean, we were a quad A school. Carlisle was a quad A school. After I was there, my brother went to school, and they won 4 consecutive state championships with Billy Owens. I don't know if you remember Billy Owens.
He knows. He knows basketball, and the NFL thing, he's sort of stuck on that.
Yeah.
But, you know, but he knows a lot of sports. He goes and scouts high schools, grade schools, and everything else.
Oh, he does.
He travels around, too.
He's the man, huh?
Oh, he's beyond that.
He's beyond the man,
definitely.
Huh? Very nice.
But no, I appreciate you filling in that because a lot of people, when you go to the Braves and you got that chop,
yeah,
they assume that that's your whole life.
No,
and I know you didn't want to leave the Pirates because I want to share something with you. Dave Cable, the director of our BPTV, he said, if you can ask Sid, ask him about Judy Hanna. Now, when you left, the year you left, supposedly she was friends, your son and her son or something went to school. Okay. So you may not remember it, but
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I don't remember.
I usually...
I'm getting old, I don't remember
Sid,
things.
Here's what I tell people. I always try to stump my guests in a nice way. This time Dave Cable gave me the stumper. I didn't want a stumper like that. I wanted it on baseball or something else. Did you play football at all?
I played in my 7th year, 7th grade season, and in between 7th and 8th grade year, I was a quarterback. In between that, I got meningitis. I wasn't allowed to play in 8th grade, and so I didn't play 9th grade. I didn't go out for 10th grade, but they had such a bad quarterback, they asked me if I'd go out 2 weeks into the season.
That's bad.
And so I went out and I played the rest of that season for them. And then in between my 10th and my 11th grade season, a guy ran me over at first base and messed up my knee. So I didn't play 11th and I didn't play my 12th grade year. But
you're kidding. And you overcame adversity. This is what we talk about. Now today, I call it an attaboy and attagirl society. They go, attaboy, Sid. Well, you just struck out. Attaboy, Sid, you threw to the wrong base. Attaboy, Sid, you made an error. I've helped coach those teams. And then as soon as they get in trouble, the kid starts crying and they quit the sport.
We
What do you think?
we saw a little bit of that with James Harrison and what he came out with as far as his kids are concerned. And I said, here, that a boy, James. I mean, I appreciate that.
Like I said, I understand when you're at the YMCA and there's no competition, the kids know the score, but you're not allowed to tell them the score. And everybody gets a trophy because they come out there and they all get their photos and things. But when you're competing, in Little League, minor league, whatever it is on up, I don't think you should get those participation trophies.
I mean, I have heard some great arguments in regards to, I had a dad, I had a mom that really appreciated me. There's a lot of kids out there that don't have a dad. I mean, they don't hear, well done, son. You're working good. You're doing a great thing. James Harrison, obviously is one of those individuals that he cares about his kids. I mean,
it's a tough love thing.
It is. But I mean, for those kids that don't have that opportunity, participation, somebody telling them finally, hey, I appreciate you. You did a great job, whether you won or lost. I mean, that's a good thing for them, but I'm not a big believer in participation trophies.
Well, you can see, I think we're united. Smoking Jim, I don't know, because he didn't find out about baseball till tonight. Okay? So we'll check that out a little further.
Just a little bit smaller of a ball in football, okay?
Well, funny story is we do some charitable foundation stuff, and this Joey Fabus Foundation, there's a guy named Bill Christ. He had played baseball, Major League Baseball. Well, he has a bat company, and he now has a red and black baseball bat, wooden bat. So he knew which end to hold it on.
Well, does he put it in his car to hit somebody over the head, or how is he using that baseball bat?
He lives in Monroeville, and he tells me it's God's country. But I told him when we first started this show almost 4 years ago, when things go bad there, I don't want to hear that anymore because every community has trouble. He's still saying it, but now they're trying to get us to come out and do a show to stop the violence out there. So I hate being a prophet in my own time because they don't survive. So he's made me into that. So when he keeps saying God's country there, why can't we all get along? Smoking Jim first.
There you go,
but
my friend.
That's where I'm looking at. So now that we got that out, a controversial thing about participation trophies, I'm with you on that. I've said it on air that I don't think it's necessary, and I understand. We babysat kids that were on our team, T-ball, and as they started growing up, and I'd ask the parent, why are they even here? And basically they were dropping a kid off.
Dropping the kid off so they could go out and do what they needed to do.
So, I mean, you should love the game. And team sports, whether you're the best player or not everybody's going to be a superstar, Smoking Jim. So that happens just because you don't want to play baseball. I understand that, but it helps teach you some values for later on.
I think athletics as a whole teaches kids ethics, teaches them character, and I think it's a good thing to have children involved with athletics because there is a lot of not only for the exercise, the mental part of it all, but there's a lot of things that the teamwork and all those aspects of the game.
And if you go in business, you need to have a team, and now they even copy that stuff.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, what does Enterprise Rental Car say? They love taking athletes because the work ethic and everything that those guys have. I mean, it's
is that what you're doing now?
No.
Okay, I just thought I'd bring it up. Usually people bring up things. See how I'm digging down deep here? I'm trying. What do you do now?
I go out and speak quite a bit. I actually just got my realtor's license on April 1st, April Fool's Day. A lot of people
That's a great day to do it.
Well, they all say that I really didn't get it, but at the same time.
Don't worry about it. I'm on your side.
But it's trying to learn that business a little bit, but at the same time, I do a lot of speaking, work with kids, do a lot of clinics, through a group called Christian Sports International.
Well, before we go too deep, how do they get a hold of you? Because I'm all about if we can promote somebody doing something good in the neighborhoods here, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, in all truth, when that's all they have to do is put my name onto the internet, Google Sid Breen. It'll come up in certain certain places for speaking. I have several people that book my speaking and everything.
Good.
But
so just Google Sid Breen and go that
and
way. I got his phone number, but I'm not giving it out unless he gives me permission.
Not right now.
Okay. No, what did I say? I said that. You didn't even have to say not right now.
I think everybody has my phone number that I don't want to have it.
Well, how about this? I've had over the last 2 years since we moved out of the studio. We do a studio live show.
Okay.
And then I wanted to go out into bars and restaurants and do this little thing we have because some people like what we talk about and the fun they have. And I said, a couple guys come up to me, hey, I know Sid Bream. So I counted down 6 guys. The only guy, and I thought he might be here, is Mike Bauer.
Yeah,
was
Mike
going to
did
come
show
up.
up.
I saw him at Jurgles. He messaged me, let me know how it's going to go. Well, every show's great for me. You know, I don't understand a bad show.
I mean, with Smoke and Jim, how can you not have a good show?
You know what? You'll be welcome back again. Just putting him on the spot like that, because he's doing the fist bump, so I got to watch out. Because look at him. He's a power lifter, and he was a sprinter. This is the only sprinter I know in history that was a power lifter.
All I need to know is that a New York Yankee hat or New York Mets hat? Or none of them?
How about he's just a fashion plate? This is what he does. That's why I try to keep it simple here. Pittsburgh Sportsline.
There you go.
That's how simple it is. Now that we got you, just Google you to find you. Now we got to talk about the curse. Okay, they're calling it the curse of Sid Bream. I never thought about it as the curse of Sid Bream because you're from the area, you grew up around here, you were a Pirate fan, and you were on the Pirates.
I wasn't a Pirate fan growing up. I was a Cardinal fan. My dad liked the Cardinals.
Okay, I missed that part.
I really wasn't a big professional baseball fan when I was growing up. I loved to watch my dad play, my uncle play, and Sandlot, but he liked the Cardinals, so I said I liked the Cardinals.
Sure.
And,
your dad's your hero, so that's usually what you do.
That's exactly correct, and so that's what I did, and so really it wasn't until my 12th grade season when some scouts came up and said, you know, we're thinking about signing you, that I really started to have thoughts of playing professional baseball. Up until that time, it was just I loved playing the game.
What was your
baseball.
thought? Just playing the game? You had fun. You had some success.
Yeah, I had success. I mean, I loved playing the game, and it wasn't until they came up and started talking to me that I started to think a little bit further ahead.
I'd like to hear you speaking out there because that's like a light bulb moment for other people. You're not even aware or even thinking. You know about it, but then they come to you.
Yep, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Well, thanks.
No, I like your coming back sarcastic. He goes, how's this interview? What do I got to do? I said, just come on here. You'll be fine. It's like being in a locker room, but it's a mixed locker room with men and women.
Yes, it is.
And no swearing. Okay? Because I'm not for that.
You know, when I was in my locker rooms, I'd have to put a towel around me because of the women here. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're wearing clothes too. Okay? That sure helps. Because if you're walking around with a towel over your clothes, I'm going to question your sanity today. I got you. You can only get so many shots into them.
Very good.
All right. Now you're playing with the Pirates. You get traded. What was your thought process then?
Well, in all truthfulness, we tried. I mean, in 1990, we went against the Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
We lost to them the very next day after we lost to the Reds. The Pirates management came out and said, Sid Bream's our first player to sign for 1991.
Right.
So my wife and I, we thought, man, this is great. This is great. I mean, you know, a rising team. We're going to be in this thing for a little while, and throughout the course of negotiations, up until free agency, I mean, they never got close to market price on me, and you know, so when free agency came, the Atlanta Braves gave me a great offer.
Sure.
And they said we needed to know something right away because they needed to go after a first baseman, and so we decided to go ahead. But in all truthfulness, I mean, that whole night, my wife and I, we cried like babies.
Yeah.
Thinking, man, we're leaving.
Sure.
And the next day we woke up, I got on the phone with Jim Leland and said, Jim, I said, you know, am I bound to this contract?
Right.
He said, Sid, he said, you're not bound to it. You haven't put your name on it. You're not bound to it. So, you know, to make a long story short, I mean, for the next probably 2 hours, I got on the phone with my attorney, and he was trying to talk me out of it. You understand what you're giving up right here? I mean, I was going to stay in Pittsburgh.
Sure.
And take the amount of money that they were going to give me and give away a great contract for Atlanta. And he finally came up. He said, "Well, what happens if they sign you, and then they go ahead and trade you to Atlanta? You're going to look like an idiot."
Right.
And he said, "You're right." He said, "Well, let's
Great wisdom.
let's ask him for a no trade clause." And so we went back to the Pirates and asked them for a no trade clause. They said, no, we're not doing that. And I said, well, if I'm your first priority, I'd hate to see what your last one is. And went down to Atlanta, and the next couple of years, we went ahead and knocked them out of the World Series.
Well, that's why I tell these guys, I've negotiated contracts through a union, and with CBAs and all that, they make fun of this stuff.
Yeah.
But you pulled out a little nugget that made your career what it was and helped you and your family.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, we wanted to stay in Pittsburgh. We love this place. I mean, it was a great place for us to raise a family and so on. And even when we were in Atlanta, we came back up here in the off season. Sure. We never stayed in Atlanta.
You didn't have a permanent home there.
No. I mean, we did have a home.
Right.
But every off season, we came back up here, and as soon as my time was done, 3 weeks later, I think our house was sold, and we were back up here in Pittsburgh. So. This place has been good for us. We've had 4 kids that we've raised here.
Right.
And really,
it's home.
It is home.
And you didn't grow up far away from here anyhow.
No, 3 hours and 15 minutes. We always said that it was good for us because our family.
You weren't speeding at all then?
No.
Okay,
no,
3 hours and 15 minutes. All right.
I don't speed.
Okay.
Do you speed?
Well, I'm not going to talk about your base running. You're serving up a softball to me in baseball. Please, don't tease me with that.
Don't get me into this running stuff. Because before my knee surgeries.
Wait a second. I was going to go to the before the knee surgeries. You must have had some speed. I used to own racehorses that had bad knees, but they could still race. Not always successfully. So that's why I'll leave you alone there. You brought up a great point.
I still hold, I'm pretty sure that I still hold the Pirates record for first baseman for stolen bases in a season.
I could believe how many?
16.
Oh, that's awesome.
Who doesn't know, but that's a big number for a first baseman.
For a first baseman.
You might get 3 or 4 in a year, Smoking Jim, so that's some speed.
Yeah. Does Smoking Jim know anything about baseball?
He knows he has a wooden baseball bat.
He has that baseball bat. Okay.
And we took him to a game last year. He went to a game with us. He was late.
Have you never put him in front of a television and left him see what the Pirates are doing right now?
You think I could move him that much? But we've been in front of TV, and he's like this. And then he's eating a rib, because he's always eating these ribs. But
well, they're good. They're good.
They are. And he knows what a baseball is. I've let him hold, baseball, just to know about there's little red stitching.
Okay.
He wants to know who does it, but I don't want to explain too much to him. Okay? He thinks little elves do it. So it's just a good sport. Now we're getting down to the curse. There is no curse from Sid Brain.
They did call it a curse. I mean, literally the last couple of years in 2012, 2013. I mean, they were starting to call it the brain curse at that point.
Well, after 20 years, come on, Sid.
I understand.
They're looking for a scapegoat. You know that.
I mean,
you're a good man.
I mean, the Bambino curse. I mean,
well, that was legit. The Bambino curse.
Why was it legit?
Well, because they sold him for $100,000 and some other special promises. He was a great pitcher then, and they knew he'd be a great hitter. So there were all kind of little curses there. The Red Sox needed money back then. Little history. I read some history, but
you know more than I do.
Yeah, why go back to that?
This
is how basic it is. Smoking Jim didn't know there's a curse. Now he believes in the curse, but you're here, so there is no curse.
There's no curse.
Okay? That's how simple it is. If you didn't follow that, watch this video again. Now, what were you thinking on that play?
I mean, in all truthfulness, I was thinking when I got to first base that there was going to be a pinch hitter or a pinch runner for
That's
me.
what I thought. No, I wanted to hear it from you. I'm watching the game.
I'm truthful.
That's what I thought.
And and Bobby Cox, our manager at that point in time, he'll tell you that he had nobody to run, but he had pitchers. I mean, and
some of those pitchers practice running all the time, right?
They were a lot faster than I was. I can tell you that.
You're an honest man.
Truthfully, Bobby Cox, he'll tell you that he had nobody to run, but his big dilemma was if we tied the ball game up, it wasn't about who could play first base because Brian Hunter and Francisco Cabrera could have played first base. It was Mark Lemke, the second baseman.
There would have been nobody.
They had nobody for second base, so to be able to put a pitcher out there to run for me, to get it in a dugout up into the clubhouse by the time that I got there, it would have been a good thing. So, but thankfully it was good for me because it has given me a platform to be able to go out and
definitely.
speak, and it's still considered the 4th most exciting play in Major League Baseball history.
Wow.
And so
I'm
it's
even
been a
more
great
honored.
thing.
I didn't know it was the 4th.
4th most exciting thing, 4th most exciting play. So I mean, again, for 20, going on 20, what is it, 25 years now?
Yeah.
I mean, it just continues.
Look
to,
how damaged we are as Pirate fans.
Exactly.
There.
I mean, you know, you've been hurting, aren't you?
Oh man! But I didn't blame you.
Oh yeah, you did.
No.
That's what Mike Bauer told me.
Well, if Mike were here to testify, which he's not conveniently, and if you put him between us, we could just snap him in half and
I
argue
agree.
about what
he
he's
looks
doing.
tough with all his tattoos, but he's
I know,
really not.
you can have that stuff. Try to talk him about getting those erased.
Absolutely.
But my problem was pitching before that should have not let it get to this point. That was part of the problem there. We had the lead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing for the Atlanta Braves at that point in time, and like so many great teams, I mean, we were talking a little bit back there. Right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates, after the 7th inning, if they're winning, they have a 59 or 60-1 record.
60-1 record.
60-1 record.
Right.
I mean, and so see, back when we were there in Atlanta, I mean, we had 25, 30 games that we came back against people's closers to win ball games. So we really and truly didn't believe that we were out of the ball game. And then with Terry Pendleton coming up and start leading off with a double down the right field line, I mean, that just got the snowball going. And you know, when a snowball starts going, it's hard to stop it.
Especially in the summertime.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. You served that up pretty nice. Sid, I want to thank you for being a great guest.
It's great to be here with you, Al.
Filling this stuff in. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you.
Smoking Jim, good seeing you, big guy.
You want to explain what this poster's about, and what your t-shirt's about, and what there's 2 signs in my yard? I haven't cut my grass for 3 weeks now. No, going on 4 weeks, because you guys come by and the signs are there.
Well, basically, it's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament that I'm organizing for my senior project. It helps benefit everybody with...
Tell us who it benefits. We need somebody specifically.
The American Heart Association.
And why are you doing that?
I'm doing it because in 1 in 3,000 basketball players, there's cardiac arrest that, like...
What about your family? Any history of heart disease in your family you told me about?
Yeah, both my grandfathers and my dad.
I told you I'd help you out. Since I made a mistake on what school you're going to, I'm trying to help you out on why we're doing this. This is just a great cause. 3-on-3 basketball for American Heart Association. This young man, I give him a lot of credit going out there. He's starting to learn how to handle negativity like I do. I don't worry about it. Even with Smoking Jim hating baseball and Zach Brenner hating baseball. They can lie to me about not hating baseball, but when they don't like the things I put up about baseball, they're haters. All you people on Facebook, I got a smartphone, I'm checking on everybody. When you're not liking what I post, you are a hater. The smartphone rules. No selfies from me. I don't know what side's my good side. All right, now that's enough time I gave you to think, get your thoughts. Tell them why they should be in this tournament right now. This is your selling pitch, young man. I can't promote you any better than that. It's your turn.
Well, they should be in the tournament because there's a lot of good prizes and they can win a lot of stuff.
Tell me a prize or two.
Well, the trophy right here is for every division, 7th through 12th grade. The winning team gets a trophy. And this other larger trophy is for ultimate knockout and girls and boys 3-point shooting contest.
Can I get a participation trophy?
We don't have any participation trophies.
Smoking Jim, you're not supposed to put it on a senior there. Your senior year, they couldn't even catch you to put you in front of a camera. So, Stephen, I want to thank you. How do they get a hold of you for this?
Well, you can go to the website.
You don't have to do the www because even I understand that now. What is the name of the site?
hoopsheartsandheroes.com, or you can also find us at hoopsheartsandheroes@aol.com.
Well, I appreciate it. Good luck to you. And you don't have to come back and get the signs. I'll save them for next year.
Okay.
All right? You take care. Good luck to you.
Great job.
you sit down and tell them your name? Because I didn't want to just say you're another Smith.
Well, sure. My name is
Look up.
John Charles Smith. And my father was John Smith before me. And
Hold it, I'm going back to Plymouth Rock.
that's a
I
long
read
time
about
ago.
it, John Smith. That's why I didn't want to say your last name.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we only have an hour show.
Okay.
And we had a great guest on our show before that. We've had another one in between you. So you have some time. I told you like 5 to 7 minutes. You cannot do any horse racing calls.
Okay. Many of you have probably attended a night at the races.
Here we go.
And that's one of the side businesses that I do.
How do they get a hold of you for that one? Because I'll do a shameless promotion right now because we're going to talk some...
I'll leave you a
you
card,
can't leave me.
contact.
You got to talk about it. Come on.
You
This
can
is
find
an
me
interview.
on. You can find me online.
How?
I have a website. It's called respectfullyyours.info. Respectfullyyours.info, and I have been speaking to schools and organizations about bullying. My company is in collaboration with an old folk singer named Peter Yarrow from Peter, Paul, and Mary. So
I'm glad I put this shameless promotion now. We're not going to talk about him writing a book or anything.
Yeah. Well, that
we cover 2 businesses now.
I think this is so fantastic, and I want to just compliment you on your selection of people here. And
would you call it an eclectic mix?
it is an eclectic mix.
I'd like to hear him.
Yes, yes, it is. So
Hold it 1 second before you go. This is my show. Now,
Okay.
you told me you were an Oakland Raider.
Yes, I was an
Now,
Oakland
look at
Raider.
Smoking Jim. He's a Steeler fan. Did you see he's for you now? I'm
Yeah.
starting to question your credibility.
Well, here is.
You're going to tell me you read Jack Tatum's book now.
Jack, they call me the assassin, Jack Tatum.
All right,
Jack Tatum
I want to
was
see
there.
some show and tell.
Yeah, this is John Smith in the Oakland Raiders training
Let me
camp.
hold that.
This is circa 1974.
Your mustache was a little weak back then.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
and many of you remember the
Oh,
great
we got-
George Blanda
Oh, yeah.
from Youngwood, Pennsylvania. My locker was right next to his. He was a fantastic guy. Rest in peace, George
that's
Blanda.
2 down. That's 2 down.
Yeah.
What do you got?
And this is the team photo,
I don't think they can see it. I'm going to have to take a picture with my smartphone, like a selfie or something.
complete with John Madden, and recently inducted in the Hall of Fame from the Oakland Raiders, Ron Wolf.
Wow.
Was out there as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to confuse you. I played college football at Ohio Northern University in Ada, Ohio. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I played briefly for the Oakland Raiders. I played briefly for the Chicago Fire
Three. You're out.
of the World
Hold
Football
it.
League.
JC, that's it. You know what? That resume is not a good one. Why are you here today?
I'm here today to talk about
About time.
a
What
new
is it?
challenge in my life. I'm now authoring a new book
I'll hold it up because we're having trouble seeing
about
these
my
photos.
experiences in the Canadian Football League with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I was in Winnipeg's camp. I had finished observing Stabler, LaMonica, Blanda, Virgil Carter, and other great quarterbacks. And when I went to Canada, I was certain the skill level would be less. But I met a guy named Dieter Brock. Dieter Brock played 9 years of professional football in Canada, came down and led the Los Angeles Rams to the NFC playoffs in 1985.
So you're going to write a book about him. What's the title of the book? I want to get to that because we got other guests.
Yeah.
And you're a nationally known speaker. We're going to be out of time on the show. We only have an hour.
Okay. His name is Dieter Brock. Dieter Brock. and his nickname is the Birmingham Rifle from Birmingham, Alabama.
We got it. We got it. Now, have you finished the book?
This book will be finished and published in early November, and it will be available in bookstores and online at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So
you're working hard. It's getting edited and everything else.
Yes.
No, that sounds great. We'll have to have you on for another edition. Remember I told you we have between 5 and 10 guests? Well, we have between 5 and 10 guests.
Yeah, well, I do want to
What do you want to
address
close
your audience.
with? What do you want to close with?
I want to let all of you know that Pittsburgh Steelers fans are the greatest fans in North America.
Oh, hold on a second. You just told me 3 teams you played for and then Canada, and now you live here. I'm sensing that you just acquiesced here.
Oh, no.
Tell me why.
My first experience with the Pittsburgh Steelers was in 1975. Some of you may remember the Steel Curtain. And the 5th member of the Steel Curtain was a fellow by the name of Steve Furness.
That's what I wanted out of you. All right, here we go.
Steve and I spent the off season working out. He outran me. I realized I would never be a quarterback in the NFL.
Tell him who Steve was, because a lot of these
Steve
people
was
are
a
too young or...
He was a defensive lineman from Rhode Island, the University of Rhode Island. And he was big, strong, fast, and smart. And beyond that, he was a beautiful man. Great guy. So, yeah, that's for another day.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it out, because you had told me that.
Yeah.
When you just come out and blurt out that we got the greatest fans, we already know that.
Well,
you're preaching to the choir just because you joined it.
Well,
now I know why, and I appreciate that because I enjoyed watching Steve play. And then I met him after he was playing. He was selling something called a tartan turf or something.
Yes, he did.
So I did know him. So I appreciate what you're saying. We have 2 degrees of separation, I call it, in Pittsburgh. I told you that at the networking. And JC, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you were on the show.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you, everybody.
And this is one of our top 2 dressed men. You got to talk to one of our guys that was on here. He was on twice, and he wore 2 of the best suits. So you're in the running now for Pittsburgh Sportsline's best suit. The pink tie put you over the top right now. It's close. Thank you.
Great job,
Thank you.
Coach Smith.
Thanks for coming here, my friend, out of your busy schedule. We won't share what you were telling me you were involved with today, because I keep asking him. We're hosting an event for him, and we'll talk about that. But he never clicked on it. Now, you know I'm not challenged anymore. I got the smartphone, so I said, what happened? Well, he had some business to take care of today. And it wasn't good stuff.
No, this is why we have boxing gyms throughout the city of Pittsburgh to try to get kids off the streets, and there's still violence on the streets. So I apologize. I had
no apology necessary.
To do some work today.
I tell people that they ask me, why do you support these violent sports like MMA? We're just at MMA. Men and women are participating. We're at boxing, amateurs, pros. I said I would rather see violence in the ring and have people trained the right way than have them doing that in the street and pulling guns out and everything else.
And it's also, there's no blindsiding going on in those sports either. It's one-on-one. Your tunnel vision is straight to your opponent. There's
Great
no
point.
one coming from the side at you with, I don't want to
need
put down
weapons. Right.
any sports. They're all good for the youth, but the fighting sports is what I'm into, and the boxing is the best in the world, in my opinion.
Well, we appreciate that. Now, I follow a lot of the fights, and I want to congratulate you on air for your son Jesse on his win.
He did great. That was a tough fight. Skeets was the referee for the fight. And Skeets, Jesse's very happy that you didn't stop it for a nosebleed this time, okay, buddy?
We'll bring Skeets up in a little bit. We got to get a little section on Skeets there. And then Joshua's been fighting too. Didn't he win, or?
It was a split decision,
Okay.
close fight. I had it going to the opponent. He fought a kid with 60 fights. I tell you what, that fight and Hugo's fight was the most technical fights of the night.
Really?
I thought, yes, by far. I mean, Josh, I'm looking at 2020
You got
for
another
Josh.
judge and
I'm looking at Tokyo.
referee next to you too. There.
Yeah, and we love you guys. Trust me.
They need you too. It's a necessary. I mean,
We
it's a
do
necessary.
need them. We do need them, and we appreciate the time that they volunteer their own time
Right.
to come down there and do that, and that's a hard job to do. I'm a police officer. It's thankless.
Right.
Your job's thankless also.
We thank you for your service and your military service too.
Thank you.
You know, I do that, so it's appreciated. Now, you got us involved in an event coming up September 4th. You
Yes,
think
I
we
do.
should talk about that a little
Let's
bit?
talk about it.
All right, let's dig right into that. This will be at one of the greatest venues. I know you can talk, but everybody's trying to talk me today. I'm going to let you go in a minute or two.
All right.
This is one of the greatest venues in Pittsburgh, not only for boxing, but the Priory Hotel has the Presidential Grand Hall.
Yes.
This place is unreal. They've done the Donnybrook there. We've done fights there before, and we're going to be filming it and broadcasting it. It'll be rebroadcast, and we got great fights coming up. I think I served it up to you right now, Jack. Take the mic. You just want to. You're much better when I let you do it, but please, sir, give it back.
You always
when
make
you're done.
me feel like Frank Sinatra up here. I just don't have the voice for it.
You're doing it your way? Then let's have it. Come on.
Yeah, if you guys remember earlier in the year, we did North Side versus the South Side. I think that was back around
We
April.
recall that, yes.
Okay, and North Side went down there and won 10 out of 13 fights. Well, this time we're going to do North Side versus the outside. North Side is challenging everybody from outside. I don't care, Ohio, Maryland, all Allegheny Mountain Division. Bring it on. We
Really?
wanna,
You heard the challenge. He's trying to
That's what we're
match
gonna
up
do.
some of these young men and women. You better get a hold of Jack Mook.
So, well, I
What do you have?
pretty much named it that just to sell tickets.
You know what? I like your marketing style, detective. We'll help you.
On the card, of course, Joshua Mook is going to fight Nate Johnson from Wolfpack Gym.
Okay.
Very technical fight. Danny Bodish will get a rematch with Ricky Keck.
That was a good
And,
fight the last time.
Yes, a good headline fight. Cameron Ekus from Boards Boxing is going to go against
Another good-
Ross Wickline, who
Two more
sharpened
good
up
fighters.
his skills a lot, Ross.
Yeah.
I seen him spar last week. So we're still working on things. We have Olympus Boxing helping out, Butler Cubs, Wick City, all of Allegheny Mountain Division, Akron, Cleveland. I'm getting calls from all over. So
Good.
trying to make it around 12, 13 fights. $20 at the door to get in, a couple ringside for $40. Refreshments, beer, food, merchandise. I believe I'm going to have Wounded Warrior Project
Are
there.
you? Great.
Yes, I'm trying to get
So
them
some
there.
charity work there.
And free parking. So please come down and check this out.
Sounds great.
All the money goes to Steel City Boxing, and in Steel City Boxing, we don't buy equipment with our stuff. If we get some money, we'll sometimes buy food for the kids. These kids come in, they're not fed. It's just the type of environment and poor neighborhoods that they're from. So the money,
Tell them where you're located at.
Spring Hill, the north side on Homer Street, right up from Spring Garden.
Stop in and support these guys.
Please
That's
do.
part of
Please
it.
do.
That's part of it. Go see what they're doing. They're trying to change lives and better
Yeah.
those lives there, and that makes a huge difference. That's why I'm all in on what you're doing. I respect what you're doing. I know you put a lot of hard work. We're trying to help you. What we're doing is minimal, but we don't mind it. We'll help you the best we can.
You guys are great, and I appreciate it. I call you, and it's one ring, and you're like, what can I do for you? And that means a lot.
Well,
Thank you.
It was a little difficult on this because I didn't know what button to hit, so it was 2 rings this time.
Well, certain people in the city kept on calling us, we're just a boxing gym. Well, a guy doesn't adopt 2 kids if you're just a boxing gym. You're much more than that. Boxing teaches so much camaraderie, not only with my gym, but it's brought us together, officials together, Skeets, Teddy's boxing
fans
gym.
of the sport. We're
Fans,
expanding
this
it
is
to
just
other
great.
people. Tell them a little bit, if they haven't seen or read any articles about you. Tell them just a brief story on what happened, because your boys aren't here because I assume they have homework.
They do, and I assume they're not doing it.
Okay. We got a lot of assuming here.
2 boys, Joshua and Jesse, were coming to my gym. They were there religiously after school every day, and for about 2 years, and then they went missing. They were very poor growing up, very in dilapidated conditions of their homes, and went out looking for them, and they ended up being taken from the parents and put in foster care. And the foster parents, there's neglect, there's physical and mental abuse, and I found Josh. He told me exactly what was going on, and it was just deplorable conditions for them. Like I said, the abuse, so
You stepped up.
Stepped up and adopted them.
And you're a single man.
Well, I'm getting married September 12th.
She wants to be around you and 2 boys. I met her the other day.
Yeah,
very nice
getting
lady.
married September 12th. So,
Well,
but at the time,
I
was the
appreciate
best.
you announcing another Pittsburgh Sportsline first.
Yeah.
We got a tough guy like this getting married, and he's making sure the kids do homework when he's home. But he
you
come
have
out
to.
here, so I'm happy that you come out. I'm not going to keep you any longer. If you want to get out of here to go check on the boys, I understand. $20 a ticket to this venue is great. If you got a few ringside seats, $40 is even better, because that ring, it's a nice ring in there, and I know
Yes.
there's a few seats around there. It's just a great view and a great venue.
And I promise you, all profit will go to children or kids that are involved in boxing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time. You want me to give you the mic, and you can be like Frank Sinatra too?
Way to go. Yes,
All
just
right.
like Frank. Well, first of all, boxing, these are all stories. I'm 83 years old. I've been around a while, so these
Make
are
yourself at home. Come on.
These are stories that one was Sid Bream, but before that, the boxing story. Few people remember way back, Billy Conn was almost champion of the world. Now, I was at a wedding with Billy, well, the wedding reception with Billy, and I went up to him. If you you probably don't remember the
Some
fight.
of us do.
because-
We even have a relative of his, Zach
Really?
Brenner, my co-host.
Oh, okay.
He's related a couple generations
Well, anyway, this goes back to 1940, 1939.
before his time.
Way before anybody's time except mine. But anyway, Billy could have won the fight, but he was fighting Joe Louis. And he made a big mistake in the 13th round. He went after it. His second told him, stay away from him. You got the fight won. Just stay away. Billy, being an Irishman, he went after Louis. Louis knocked him out. So there went the championship.
There's
But
a life lesson.
there's a life lesson, right. But when I met Billy at the wedding, the first thing I says, Billy, I want to ask you a question. He says, you're Irish, aren't you? I said, yeah, I'm Irish. He says, don't ask me that question. I says, no, I'm not going to ask you about why you went after him.
You know.
I'm going to ask you, what did you weigh when you fought Louis?
Wow.
Great question.
Louis was 205 pounds. This is unbelievable, but they made Louis lose 10 pounds for the fight. Knocked him down to 195. Billy Conn, out of his mouth, he told me 167 pounds.
Wow.
Heavyweight. Heavyweight.
Yeah, but he could put a hole in the wall right there.
Oh, yeah. But Billy Conn, if you know, the legend is the Pittsburgh kid. His bodyguard was Joey Diven.
Yeah.
Joey Diven was the best street fighter in Pittsburgh. Joey Diven supposedly beat up 5 of the Pitt football players in one night. That's how tough he was. Anyway, Joey Diven and Billy were out in Vegas, and Frank Sinatra.
I like it.
Right here, Frank Sinatra.
Do it your way.
Frank Sinatra liked Billy being a fighter, but he gets this idea Who has the toughest bodyguard? Does Billy Conn, Joey Diven, or Frank Sinatra's bodyguard? Well, they had a fight.
With or without guns?
No, without guns.
Okay, we got to clarify that today.
Right, without guns. Fisticuffs. Fisticuffs. Right. Joey Diven beat the hell out of Frank Sinatra's bodyguard.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing. We got a bonus story here.
Another win for Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. I knew where you were going, Coach. This coach is all about Pittsburgh here.
Sid Bream, I'm sorry, Sid, I have to bring this up, but I wanted to ask you, when you were in Georgia, what was the country club you belonged to, the golf? Okay, now I was playing there with a few of my friends, all right? And we were held up on one of the holes. So the group in front of us, they were still in the tee when we caught up to them. So they turned around and they said, where are you guys from? We're from Pittsburgh.
Oh, geez.
Oh, really? Now, this was like 97 or something like that. Anyway, we're from Pittsburgh. He said, oh, then you must know Sid Bream. He's a member of our country club. I says, well, yes, we know Sid Bream. We remember Barry Bonds in left field. At the time, we used to call him Candy Arm. But anyway, your friend Sid told us that you said, well, I was on second, and I turned on the jets. And they all said, he doesn't have any jets. sorry. I heard about your knee, Sid. I'm sorry about that.
That's why I let him go a little bit there. Definitely.
Anyway, congratulations. You beat Bond's throw, so you won. That's all that counts. You won.
Definitely.
The curse is still on.
That curse is off. He's not a baseball fan.
Now, the last story I want to tell you.
You're going to give us 3 stories.
One more.
Oh,
this is baseball, okay?
I know. Tell him.
I'm at a Quicksilver golf course. This is when the senior tour tried to play there. So I was out there on a practice run. So I started to follow this one guy. Now, if you people remember the 1960 World Series, okay, Bill Mazeroski and all, anyway, I started to follow this one golfer who tried to get on the senior tour. And he was hitting the ball really well, so we started to talk. And after, I said, where are you from? Oklahoma, Well, what did you used to do? He says, well, I play baseball. And I said, oh, really? I said, what team do you play for?
Yankees.
He says, New York Yankees.
How'd I guess?
Oh, really?
I know his name.
I said, well, what is your name? He says, Ralph Terry. I said, oh, my God.
The pitcher.
You're the one that threw the ball. The Mazeroski hit out of the stick.
Wow.
He says, yes, I'm that guy. And he says, Pat, at that time he's calling me Pat. He says, Pat, guess who they have me lined up tomorrow to play with? I says, not Mazeroski. He says, yes, Mazeroski.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Anyway.
And that's why Pat Carmack is on our last show.
And that's it.
No. Coach, thank you. Pat, it's awesome.
Hey, I don't know. This show should go on.
One question
Well,
off
in
the
other
air.
places.
A question off the air.
Okay.
Did you ever coach against Billy Owens from Carlisle?
Billy Owens, who brought up Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Levo was the coach. Billy Owens, now remember, this is a state championship team. 53 points. I don't want to coach against them.
Welcome to the show. We're going to close out our last show at Duke's Rib House and Grille. We got 2 great guys here. They're always putting stuff up on Facebook. They're promoting Pittsburgh Sportsline, Brenner Contracting. I'm like Pittsburgh Sportsline, Levine. And we got a nice color here. This will go with my tan, I've been told. Thanks, Zach. Oh man, BC's on the heart.
Hill's color.
What the? What else do we got? We got hats all over the place. This is all about PR and branding. Zach Brenner, what's on your mind?
Well, you know, Smoker Jim Frazier, I've been waiting all week to say, Braves win! Braves win! 1992, curse or no curse, Sid Bream crushed and dashed the hearts of probably every single person in this building in 1992. If it wasn't for the Penguins winning the Stanley Cup.
I don't live vicariously through my team. I played sports. All you guys that are haters and closet haters, this is why I say that.
Hey, I'm not a hater to the Victor goes to sports.
I know, because he's here.
Barry Bonds and his
He's
candy arm couldn't get the ball there, and Sid Bream slid in. And
well, I'm glad we confirmed it on 2 shows in a row. We get the 3rd show in a row. I might start to believe you, but you're not welcome to go to Pirate games with me. That's all. Go with your friends. All right, Skeets, what's on your mind? This is our sponsor of our What's on Your Mind. Take the mic. You guys quit holding hands. I know you're boxers and you're tough guys.
Yeah.
No pink shirts tonight. Skeets,
tonight.
what's on your mind?
No, I just want to say it's an honor and a pleasure to meet Sid Bream here tonight and tell him he was the fastest man in baseball that year. Coming around. Yeah, definitely. Real speed burner coming around them bases. But you got the job done, and congratulations on that.
I'm sensing a love fest here. Who knew?
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. And reverse the curse, man, because it is you. It was that. We should have never got rid of you. We had you. We should have kept you when we had
Hold
the
it.
chance.
We have a thing on Pittsburgh Sportsline called Good Karma. Once you're on here, nothing but good happens to you.
Yes, let's hope so. And
the curse is
Buccos
gone
are
because there wasn't
good.
one.
And it was, 20 years of losing? You know what I mean?
So what? That's history.
Yeah, that is
What about
history.
today?
Yeah, now the Pirates are on a roll now, and like I say, things are looking good. But them St. Louis Cardinals are going to be tough. You know that.
They need a losing streak.
That's his dad's favorite team.
Hey, why are you bringing that up now? This guy does not like
Good
baseball.
karma for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
How could that even be possible? Cut this part out. The show's almost over.
Hey, then I was thinking, the coach here said that Terry give up the home run to Mazeroski. And I thought Terry also might have given that home run up to Bobby Thompson, a shot heard around the world. I think he was pitching that game too. I'm pretty sure, Ralph Terry was pitcher.
And see, we got some baseball fans that are up here.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
Look
I
at
love
that
baseball.
Red Sox talk I had about the history and
man.
the Bambino curse.
Anybody but the Red Sox. They already had their
Oh, we
chance.
covered enough. This is Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right.
What else is happening? You want to say something about boxing?
Oh,
real quick?
boxing, okay. We got the fights coming up September 6th down in Weirton, West Virginia. Matt Conway's on, the Sweet Child. Black Magic. Ed Lattimore's on. Bill Hutchinson. And
Those are good boxers. And then
Himes, handsome hitman on.
Josh
Handsome
Himes.
Hitman, yeah. He's been on this show a couple times.
Yeah, he has. No
That's
doubt.
going. Yeah, Serbian Center down in Weirton, West Virginia. And that'll be Sunday
Thanks,
evening
Keith.
at 7 o'clock. Then Sammy Vasquez is fighting this month, and so is Iron Man fighting on the same card.
All guests of our show.
Yes.
All guests.
Bergman's on the card too.
All right, you guys can debate that later. He's on the card right
Yeah,
now.
definitely on for now.
This is
yeah.
it. We got to end the
And,
show. Hey,
then there's
where are
Jack
you going?
Mook's
Throw
fights
the notes
coming up
away.
today.
We're almost out of
I don't
time.
have no notes today.
That's why.
All
What
right,
else?
hey, thank you.
No, what else? One more thing.
I was going to just say Mook has a show coming up here on September 4th at the Priory down in Pittsburgh.
That's where we were.
Yeah, and his boy fought a great fight there the other night. He really picked it up in the 3rd round, little Jesse, and man, he turned it on and he won a good fight. Yeah, it was
That
good.
ends
yeah.
it with a feel-good story.
All right, right on.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Zach.
Tune in to tomorrow night's show.
It'll be too late. This show will be up on Wednesday. And all 4 of you in Munhall, keep watching the show. Hey, thank you for everybody coming out. Be safe out there and stay Joey strong.